Welcome to Wake Up West Palm, where we talk all things downtown West Palm Beach, and you get to meet some of the incredible people and businesses in our beautiful community. Today, I'm joined by Shane Savage, Chief Strategy Officer at PATHOS. Shane, thanks for joining us.
Oh, so glad to be here.
And thanks for having us in your office.
Yeah, welcome, welcome.
So you guys are located in downtown West Palm Beach. Tell us, who is PATHOS? What kind of organization is this?
Yeah, so PATHOS, we identify ourselves as a full stack marketing company. And essentially what that means is we do creative and media experiences for the brands that we work with. And full stack, if you think about it, I think people are more used to hearing like an IT stack, right? A marketing stack is a collection of services, tools, technologies, and processes that skillfully trained creators know how to leverage to solve problems for businesses. And so we've been doing that for coming up on 35 years. So it's been a fantastic journey for us as a business, and have had phenomenal people through our organization that have really created fantastic things for not only here locally in Palm Beach, but also nationally as well.
So that's amazing. First of all, this is such an interesting industry to be in. Obviously, there's a lot of evolution, a lot of the technology changes. What are some of your favorite projects that you've worked on?
Oh, gosh, there's so many. It's like trying to pick your favorite like puppy or child or something, right? So over the years, even before my time, some of the greatest stories that I've heard in the history of PATHOS is we opened City Place. We were the agency of record that really worked closely with Related to make that property a fantastic experience that obviously is still an impactful place and landmark for our city. We opened and helped with the Palm Beach outlets. Our client, New England Development, had a vision, and there was a lot of celebrities that came and hosted events. Mario Lopez was the host for that opening, so just having that experience was fantastic as well. And then there's some that are like really close to home that just are really good, feel-good projects. We recently redid a website for Peggy Adams, the animal shelter. So working with, what more could you ask for? Working with puppies and dogs and cats and kittens, trying to get them homes. We recently did the 30th anniversary for Dreyfus School of the Arts Foundation with really talented group of kids, and we were fortunate to shoot a fantastic video series with them to feature their works. So just a lot of really great projects locally that touch close to home, as this is our home, right, as a business, but also residents and community members.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because as you're describing the projects you've worked on, it's almost like it really is like you're helping to build this community, but from a marketing lens. So how do you feel that you're different than other more traditional marketing agencies?
Yeah, and so many industries evolve over time, right? And in the marketing space, that's no different. The tools changed, the internet came, phones developed, right? But still at the core of what we believe at PATHOS marketing is still all about is creating experiences and tapping into emotion. And that concept alone is actually rooted in our name, PATHOS. If you think back to your days in elementary school when you were learning how to write, there was ethos, pathos, and logos. And that was Aristotle's 3 modes of persuasion. And pathos, or pathos, as it's pronounced in literature, is the art of awakening emotion in audiences. So that is what we pride ourselves on, is connecting brands to the audiences that they're trying to reach through the art of emotion. And so that's what we've really think that separates us from others out there. We have crafted meaningful ways through branding, design, websites, spatial experiences, media outreaches to craft emotional stories.
That's so awesome. I love that that's how you named the company. That's so cool. And you have a kind of an interesting background because as you're talking, you're so well spoken around marketing creativity and really just being able to have these experiences. I love that you call them marketing experiences, but you come from a financial background. So how did this happen?
Yeah, so I in my early years coming out of college, I studied applied economics and management. I was fortunate to intern at Google for a summer, which really exposed me to the tech world. One thing I was really hungry for was to go to New York and have an experience on Wall Street. So I was a wealth management consultant down on Wall Street for a couple years. And that exposed me to the big banks, how they manage big data on the consumer and the private banking side. And so, through that experience, I learned how to analyze and think quantitatively. But there's this creative side to me as well that I really wanted to scratch and really dive into. So by blending the financial, the tech experience that I had, and I was also an athlete growing up as well, I really kind of blended these experiences to come down to PATHOS, which is a family-owned and operated company that my mother started. So I started the digital department when I first came down, brought website design and development in-house, also videography and photography. So we really expanded through some of my experiences that I didn't know I would use in the creative world, but they were very relevant when I came here.
I love that. I love that you get to use all of your experiences and be able to create so much of the things that you've been able to do here in West Palm. So what do you love about doing business in West Palm?
Well, West Palm is, I'm coming up on 10 years living in West Palm. And actually, I was born in Delray at West Boca Medical Center. And so for me, it's kind of full circle. I traveled up and down the Mid-Atlantic, and now I find myself back in the place that I was born and call home. And in my 10 years, I've only quickly seen the evolution of West Palm as a creative center, a financial center, an innovation center. Buildings, skyscrapers are going up everywhere, and new waves of people are finding themselves here. And it's really exciting to be a part of that ecosystem that is evolving very quickly. South Florida is becoming a destination, not just for tourists anymore. It really is becoming a place where people want to call home, start families, build their careers, start their businesses. And it's just a really great time to be here.
What do you wish that more people knew about doing business in downtown West Palm?
I think it's about just diving in, right? And the perception as business owners or professionals that we're starting to overcome is that if you want to have, especially a career in tech or creative or design, you have to go to other markets, right? You might have to go to San Francisco or Brooklyn or Chicago or DC. And that may have been the case before, but those businesses, those opportunities, those skill sets, those communities are now in West Palm and in South Florida. So that's what's so exciting about being here is we are shaping new communities of talented creators that have the ability to not only thrive, but build and become an innovation center.
Yeah, talk about collaboration, because that's the word that came up as you were talking. I'm like, you're able to collaborate with so many businesses downtown and so many organizations that really support the different businesses that are here. Yeah,
and so it's great you asked that, because at PATHOS we have this concept of creative capital. And so it has a twofold meaning that we like to look into, which is first, communities, a city, businesses, clients, our people within PATHOS have to respect creativity as a form of capital. And most people think of capital as like a form of investment. And creativity is a form of investment. When people start respecting it, believing it, and not only rewarding it financially, creativity becomes a part of the fabric of our economy. And when enough businesses do that, we are able to form a city that becomes a creative capital. So that has to happen through collaboration, right? Businesses, partnerships, local accelerators, incubators, co-working space at the small level for entrepreneurs, but all the way up to the large corporations that are considering moving their offices from New York. That is all a part of the collaborative ecosystem that it takes and is required to build a creative capital.
Well, you collaborated with your mother on this on this incredible business, and so why don't we introduce our guest, Ann Savage, who is the CEO and co-founder of PATHOS. Ann, thank you so much for having us in your beautiful office.
Hello. I'm entrenched in what you guys are talking about.
Well, you've been here, you're going on 35 years in this business. What is that like? I mean, you've seen a lot over the past 35 years.
I have, and our origins are really right here in this building. 35 years ago, our first office was here in the Como building, and so it's been nice as we came back in 2018 to kind of full, as Shane talks about, full circle, so that's another example of that. But so much has changed from the city itself. West Palm Beach 35 years ago was not a thriving, with businesses and people living here. It was really just at its very early stages of the DDA coming in and starting to do its work. And so we did not have that real connection to West Palm Beach. Our industry is also changing tremendously. It was a very static industry for many years until the internet really came around, and with that brought the technology and the innovation that is constantly changing. And so what was a pace that was pretty steady, and we knew what we were doing every day, to now we don't know what we're doing every day. It's new, it's technologies, it's people, it's job titles that are very different from what we used to have. So it's just a much more exciting time, and the city mirrors that with what's going on here in the city. It's thriving, and it's great to be a part of that, and we're really invested in that. We're not just coming into our office and doing our work, but we're very much out in the community, and that's very important to us, as you say, collaborating.
Why did you choose to open your office in West Palm, and why stay here?
Then or now?
Well, back then.
Back then. My partner, who I founded the agency with, Gina Bonner, she was a native to South Florida, and she grew up in Palm Beach, and she loved the Como building, quite honestly. I mean, this was a building that was very beautiful and had a lot of history, and so we came and took a very small space across the hall. So that's literally what brought us here. But then in 2018, we came back. We were looking for a space that was very different from what we've ever worked in before, which was traditional office. Downtown offered this kind of a space where we could get rid of the walls and really just, we created for working here, but we also created for being able to bring the community into our space. And so these bleachers that we're sitting in, they have wheels so we can move it around, and we can really transform the space to bring the community in. So we have students in here quite a bit. We just had Path to College in here recently, which the DDA partnered with us on. We have chamber groups come in and use the space. We just do a lot here, so we're very, working with our clients, but very much working with the community as well.
Yeah, well, it's a beautiful space to have an event. So we were just walking around, and I was, I'm thinking of all the things that we could do here. New ideas. So you've played an integral role in the economic growth of West Palm, and have worked with some of the most influential entities like Tenet Health and Ocean Properties, Sunfest, Palm Beach Outlets, and of course the West Palm Beach Downtown Development Authority.
Yes.
So talk about some of those experiences and what you've learned.
Well, certainly our origins come from a lot of the local major industries in Palm Beach County. We are not an agency that works with just one industry, so that's really interesting to just work with all different types of clients, and it leads to a lot of different types of work because their needs and their problems that they need us to help solve are different. So it's hard to say one lesson that comes out of that, but I guess what I love about it is that as we are living in the community and moving around the community, you just see so much of the entities that we've worked with, and that's really sort of a great feeling that we are contributing to their successes. And one of even the first time Shane came down and was visiting, he was like, well, you've done that and that and that, and really just driving around town. So that's, I guess, a big takeaway is just really the role that we've been able to play in the success of so many organizations here in town.
Yeah, that must feel
Yeah.
so rewarding that you like your fingerprints are kind of all over so many of the things that make West Palm what it is.
Yeah, when you asked us to kind of put the list, it was really, wow, 35 years is a long time, and we've touched a lot of businesses here and beyond too.
Yeah. So how is it working together?
Oh, there's the question.
I mean, business is hard enough, right? And then you're working with a mother-son team. So what's that like?
Yeah, it's really fun. I'd love to get her perspective. I'll give mine first, because I'll get in trouble. I always joke, the first year for me was actually pretty funny, because, one of the first questions I have to ask myself is, gosh, what do I call her in the office, right? It's like, I can't call her mom. That's crazy. So then I had, for a full year, is learning how to call what was typically mom at home, Ann. So now it's really hard to call her mom, because I'm calling her Ann at home now. So everyone's like, who's Ann? I'm like, oh, my mom. Once I get past that, our dynamic of working together, we really do complement each other in a large part. What I've also learned, and I was fortunate to meet Gina Bonner, who was the co-founder and very close with her family, they complemented each other as well. So when she unfortunately passed in 1999, she was this creative energy and spark, and she was the one that fostered relationships in the community and really dove in. While Ann was very much the one that really was thinking about the structural components of the business and how do we offer service offerings and really diving to that side. So when I stepped in, I really kind of tried to fill in Gina's shoes to complement, and that's a lot of what we do. I try to have probably too much fun, and she reels me in and is like, we'll get to that, great idea, but not today, right? So it's
For sure, he's the speedboat and I'm the cruise ship, But it really has been really special from a business owner to a parent of, he's very talented, and to have somebody come in and just say, I want to wrap my arms around this business that he's, kind of been around all of his life, but, it was a surprise to me that, I thought as he said, that he was off to the big New York adventures, but really coming down here. And, it's been so wonderful to have somebody come in and look at every aspect of the business and to touch every aspect of that business as he has, and really transformed us. As I talk about the pace of our industry, he does that for us very much. He's the future of what we will be as I end my career at some point, not tomorrow. But what I'm saying, that that's means a lot to me as a parent, speaking of the mother-child. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that's even a big deal as far as, this business is kind of like your baby. So to know that you have someone that you trust running it and leading it, that's awesome. So you guys have received so many incredible awards, marketing, design. Is there any that you're most proud of? I
could not begin to say that there was one that I was most proud of. Those are a lot of creative awards for all different sorts of our clients, and it's just entering awards is just such a small part of what we think about. But it is, when you do it, it is nice to have that recognition and acknowledgement, even for our team, to celebrate the work that they do, and it's just really nice to do. But yeah, if you ask me any kind of a favorite question, I can't do it.
No. All right, fair enough. They each have their own little space in your heart, I'm sure, and the projects that you get to work on. What are some of your dreams for Pathos and downtown West Palm Beach over the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, I would really say just, to continue with the direction that we're headed, that we've really invested in the past few years, and just being very involved. We love, back to that word collaboration, we love being out in the community, It's really nice to see members of our team. It's not just Shane and I that are out in the community, it's our team, sometimes people that really haven't ever done anything like that, and the rewards that we see them enjoying, especially with students, that's especially dear to me, is to have those young minds coming in here. They never disappoint as to how amazing they are, and to see that as a future. But I would just say really just us holding our heads up and being out in the community and creating that creative capital that is sort of at the core of who we are today.
Awesome. Who should be reaching out to you if people are watching? They're like, "Ooh, they sound like a really cool company. We might need some collaboration and some marketing experiences." Who are the kind of people that you want to be working with?
Yeah, so I would say typically we're working with middle market size corporations, and that can be both public, nonprofit, and private. The reason being is we very much have become fractional CMOs with the power of a full service marketing department. And so that has become a really good fit for, again, those middle market organizations that they maybe haven't made the leap to a full in-house marketing team, but maybe they have a marketing director and maybe a couple folks that are also a part of that team. And so we come in and help supplement that, and we jumpstart their department to allow them to take their brand to the next level. So that's proven to be a very fruitful relationship and a great win-win for the clients that we work with, but also ourselves, and the types of challenges that we overcome together as the industries continue to change.
Awesome. And the best place for people to find you, your website?
So our website is wearepathos.com, and definitely follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn at wearepathos as well. And very much look forward to not only just meeting potential clients and brands, but really anyone that is interested in creating and innovating, and always down to grab coffee or lunch or anything downtown. So feel free to reach out.
If you're passing by the Como building, just pop in and look at the space. It's beautiful.
Definitely welcome that.
Yeah.
Well, Shane, Ann, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure learning a little bit more about you. Thanks again for hosting us in your beautiful office.
Of course.
And thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.